A man is racing at over 300 kilometers per hour. No barriers, no runoff, no second chances, just inches away from stone walls, trees, and death. One small mistake. And he's not sliding across a track. He's gone. This isn't a movie. This isn't CGI. This is real. This is the Isle of Man TT. And the most terrifying part? They choose to do it every single year. Most racing tracks in the world are designed with one priority in mind: safety. Wide runoff areas, gravel traps, barriers. Everything is built to protect the rider when something goes wrong. But the Isle of Man TT is nothing like that. This race doesn't happen on a purpose-built circuit. It takes place on real public roads, the same roads people use every day. Except during the race, these normal roads turn into one of the most dangerous tracks on Earth. The course stretches over 60 kilometers, filled with more than 200 corners, blind turns, sudden bumps, and unpredictable conditions. There are no wide spaces to recover, no margin for error. Just narrow roads, stone walls, houses, and trees standing inches away from riders moving at extreme speeds. And once the race starts, there is no turning back. Since its beginning in 1907, the Isle of Man TT has claimed the lives of more than 260 riders. But numbers like these can be misleading, because when you hear 260, it sounds like a statistic, something distant, something impersonal. But the truth is, every single one of those numbers was a real person, someone with a life beyond racing, someone who had a family waiting for them, a father, a son, a brother, a friend, people who woke up that morning expecting to come back home, people who had plans, dreams, and futures that ended on these roads. And what makes this even harder to accept is that this risk isn't hidden. It isn't unknown. Every rider who lines up at the start already knows exactly what this race can take from them. They've seen the crashes. They've heard the stories. Some of them have even lost people they knew. And still, they choose to race, not because they don't understand the danger, but because they've made peace with it. Because at the Isle of Man TT, death is not just a possibility. It's a reality that every rider carries with them, every second they're on that road. Riders in the Isle of Man TT are not fearless. They feel fear just like anyone else. What sets them apart is how they deal with it. At speeds exceeding 300 kilometers per hour, there is no time to think, no room for hesitation. And every corner, every bump, every twist of the road must be executed perfectly, instinctively. Their minds operate differently. Fear becomes focus. Adrenaline sharpens perception. Each rider memorizes the entire course down to the smallest detail, from every blind corner to every slight bump in the tarmac. Every braking point, every lean, every gear change is practiced so often it becomes muscle memory. When they ride, the mind doesn't control the body. The body responds automatically, guided by hours of preparation and discipline. One moment of doubt, one miscalculation, and it could all end. But they've trained themselves not to doubt. They have mastered control over chaos. For them, it's not about eliminating fear. It's about using fear as a tool, a signal, a guide, a weapon, to stay alive and stay fast. Few riders embody the spirit of the Isle of Man TT like Michael Dunlop. Born into a legendary racing family, Michael didn't just grow up around motorcycles. He was raised with the thrill, the pressure, and the legacy of speed and risk in his blood. He saw glory and he saw tragedy. He watched family members battle the same roads, some triumphing, some paying the ultimate price. Yet from a young age, he chose to follow in their tire tracks. For Michael, racing isn't a hobby. It's identity. Each lap, each race is a conversation between him and the track, a battle with fear, a test of every ounce of skill and instinct he possesses. He knows the risks. He's witnessed the cost firsthand, and yet, he rides anyway. Because for him, to stop isn't simply quitting, it's betraying everything that has shaped him. On the TT course, Michael doesn't just race the bike, he races history, legacy, and the very idea of courage itself. Every high-speed bend is a reflection of years of preparation, every pass a testament to discipline, and every victory a conversation with the ghosts of the past who paved the way. Once you've raced the Isle of Man TT at full throttle, Life off the track feels almost unreal. Every other experience seems slower, smaller, and somehow dull. Riders describe it as a state of absolute focus, where the world shrinks to the bike, the road, and the next split-second decision. Every movement must be precise. Every second counts. In that intensity, there's no room for distraction, no space for overthinking. The adrenaline, the sharpness of mind, the rush of risk. It's a feeling unlike anything else. And once you taste it, ordinary life loses its flavor. It's not just excitement. It's a form of clarity, a raw presence that becomes addictive. Riders don't just crave speed. They crave that moment of being truly alive, where instinct, courage, and control fuse into something transcendent. Leaving the track isn't easy. Returning to normal life feels like stepping into slow motion, like a world dulled by comfort. And that's why they come back, year after year, lap after lap. Not because they don't fear death, but because the speed reminds them what it means to truly live. Now pause for a moment and think about your own life. Most of us wake up knowing exactly how the day will go. The same commute, the same job, the same tasks, the same conversations. Life feels safe, predictable, comfortable. There's no sudden adrenaline rush, no split-second decisions that could change everything, no life or death stakes. And that's exactly the problem. Comfort feels good. It feels earned. It feels stable. But comfort doesn't push you. It doesn't demand growth. It doesn't force you to reach beyond your limits. Unlike the riders of the Isle of Man TT, and who face extreme danger and must be constantly aware, most of us live in a zone that's quiet, predictable, and safe. And slowly, almost imperceptibly, it can begin to shrink our ambition, our curiosity, and even our sense of purpose. While the TT riders chase fear to feel alive, many of us avoid it entirely, clinging to the illusion that stability is success, never realizing that comfort can be the most dangerous trap of all. This is where most people don't realize the danger. Comfort isn't just easy, it's a trap. When life becomes predictable, stable, and safe, ambition doesn't vanish overnight. It disappears quietly, almost imperceptibly, one comfortable decision at a time. You start saying yes to the routine, yes to the paycheck, yes to the predictable day, and slowly, without noticing, you stop pushing yourself. You stop experimenting. You stop taking risks. The small spark that once drove curiosity and growth flickers, then fades. Unlike the riders of the Isle of Man TT who constantly confront danger and must perform under pressure, most of us live in a zone that demands almost nothing of us. That sense of stability feels good, but it quietly convinces you that effort is no longer necessary. And that, more than failure, more than bad luck, is why dreams stall, opportunities pass by, and potential is wasted. This is the comfort trap. It is invisible. It is seductive. And it is the reason most people never reach the next level of their own life. Imagine two lives side by side. On one hand, you have the rider, someone who faces danger head-on, who feels fear and still chooses to ride at unimaginable speeds. Every lap, every turn, every second on the track demands their full attention, their courage, and their skill. Their life is intense, unpredictable, and filled with lessons that only experience under pressure can teach. On the other hand, there's the average person, walking a life mapped out in predictable steps. The same job, the same routine, the same safe choices. Fear is avoided, risks are minimized, and challenges are often ignored. While the rider's life teaches growth, resilience, and mastery, the safe life often breeds complacency. The difference isn't talent. It isn't luck. It isn't even courage. The difference is choice. One chooses discomfort to grow. One chooses comfort to survive. And that choice, conscious or unconscious, defines everything about the life you live and the person you become. By now, you begin to understand what it truly takes to be a rider in the Isle of Man TT. It's not just skill. It's not just speed. It's discipline, courage, and a relentless commitment to mastery. Every rider knows that a single lapse, a fraction of a second lost in focus, can be fatal. Yet, despite this ever-present danger, they push themselves again and again. Early mornings, grueling training sessions, endless laps memorizing every inch of the course, all to shave milliseconds off their performance. They endure fear, pain, and fatigue, because they understand something that most of us forget. Growth and excellence require discomfort. Every victory is earned not just with the bike, but with mental toughness, preparation, and sacrifice. When you watch them ride, you're not just seeing a race. You're witnessing a dance with danger, a testament to human willpower, and a living example of courage that inspires anyone willing to face the uncomfortable realities of their own life. What the Isle of Man TT teaches us is more than just speed or courage. It teaches us about life itself. Growth, ambition, and fulfillment don't come from comfort. They come from the moments that scare you, challenge you, and push you to your limits. The riders face danger head-on, not because they are fearless, but because they've learned to embrace fear, to channel it into focus, discipline, and action. We may not all ride motorcycles at 300 kilometers per hour, but we all face our own tracks, deadlines, risks, opportunities, and choices that define who we become. Life will never be completely safe or predictable, and trying to stay in a comfort zone is a slow surrender of your potential. If you want to truly feel alive, if you want to grow, if you want to reach the next level of your own life, you must step into discomfort, face challenges, take calculated risks, push past the fear of failure, because that's where real growth begins. That's where ambition thrives. And just like the riders who return lap after lap, you'll discover that courage, discipline, and persistence aren't just skills. They are a way of life. If this video made you feel the thrill, the courage, and the lesson from the Isle of Man TT, make sure to hit that like button. Comment below what part inspired you the most. And don't forget to subscribe for more stories that push you to think, grow, and chase your own limits.